I'm gonna read you this story called, This All Started with a Fight Between Goku and Bob Ross.
Fuck yes, I'm so excited.
Shut up woman, I have a job that I don't get paid for. Now, let's begin. Alex Hunt was a burger-loving, basketball-playing, autistic D&D GM with a loud laugh and a beard. He was also a huge fan of fantasy adventures, and he dreamed of one day going on his own. One day, Alex was playing D&D with his friends when he suddenly felt a strange tingling sensation. He looked down at his hands and saw that they were starting to glow. His friends looked at him in alarm, and then they all disappeared. Alex was alone. He didn't know what was happening, but he knew that he had to find his friends. He started to walk, and he soon found himself in a strange and unfamiliar forest. Alex walked for hours, but he couldn't find his friends. He was starting to get worried when he came across a clearing in the forest. In the middle of the clearing was a large stone table, and seated at the table was a group of adventurers. The adventurers were surprised to see Alex, but they welcomed him to their camp. They told him that they were on a quest to defeat the evil wizard Malko, and they invited him to join them. Alex was excited to join the adventurers on their quest. He knew that it would be dangerous, but he was determined to help them defeat Malko. The adventurers traveled for many days and nights. They crossed mountains, valleys, and forests. They fought off monsters and bandits, and they solved ancient puzzles. Finally, they reached Malko's castle. It was a dark and imposing fortress, but the adventurers were not afraid. They stormed the castle and fought their way to Malko's throne room. Malko was a powerful wizard, but the adventurers were even more powerful. They defeated Malko and saved the world from his evil. Alex was a hero. He had helped the adventurers to defeat Malko and save the world. He returned home a changed man. He was still a burger-loving, basketball-playing, autistic D&D GM with a loud laugh and a beard, but he was also a hero. Alex's fantasy adventure taught him that he was capable of anything he set his mind to. He also learned that the best adventures are shared with friends. Alex was still in the fantasy world, and he was determined to find his friends Kate, Kieran, Adam, and Alicia. He set off on a journey to find them, and he traveled far and wide. Along the way, Alex had many adventures. He fought off monsters, helped people in need, and learned new things about himself. He also made new friends, including a wise old wizard, a brave knight, and a mischievous elf. One day, Alex was traveling through a forest when he came across a group of adventurers fighting a dragon. The adventurers were outnumbered and outmatched, but Alex knew that he had to help them. Alex joined the fight, and together they were able to defeat the dragon. The adventurers were grateful to Alex for his help, and they told him that they were on their way to a nearby town. Alex decided to join the adventurers, and he soon learned that they were Kate, Kieran, Adam, and Alicia. They were just as surprised to see Alex as he was to see them. Kate, Kieran, Adam, and Alicia had been transported to the fantasy world in the same way that Alex had been. They had been on a D&D adventure when they had suddenly found themselves in the real world. Alex and his friends were reunited, and they were overjoyed to be back together. They decided to stay in the fantasy world for a while and have some adventures. Alex and his friends traveled all over the fantasy world. They explored ancient ruins, fought dangerous monsters, and visited magical places. They also made new friends and learned new things about themselves. One day, Alex and his friends decided that it was time to go home. They said goodbye to their new friends and returned to the real world. Alex and his friends were glad to be home, but they would never forget their adventures in the fantasy world. They had learned a lot about themselves and each other, and they had created memories that would last a lifetime. Alex and his friends returned to the real world, but they were changed by their experiences in the fantasy world. They were more confident, more resilient, and more aware of the importance of friendship. Alex also realized that he wanted to share his love of fantasy with others. He started a D&D club at his school, and he also began writing a fantasy novel. One day, Alex received a letter from a young fan who said that his novel had inspired her to pursue her own dreams. Alex was touched by the letter, and he realized that he was making a difference in the world. Alex and his friends continued to have adventures together, but now their adventures were in the real world. They volunteered at a local soup kitchen, started a campaign to clean up their neighborhood park, and even organized a fundraiser for a local animal shelter. Alex and his friends knew that they could make a difference in the world, one step at a time. They were inspired by their adventures in the fantasy world, and they were determined to make the real world a better place. One day, Alex and his friends were walking home from school when they saw a group of bullies picking on a smaller child. Alex and his friends stepped in and stopped the bullies. They then helped the smaller child to his feet and made sure that he was okay. The smaller child thanked Alex and his friends for their help. He told them that he was new to the school and that he didn't have any friends yet. Alex and his friends invited the smaller child to join them, and they all walked home together. Alex and his friends knew that they could make a difference in the world, one person at a time. They were inspired by their adventures in the fantasy world, and they were determined to make the real world a more inclusive and welcoming place for everyone. Kieran had always been a fan of all the nerdy shit. He loved comic books, video games, and fantasy novels. But most of all, he loved D&D. One day, Kieran was playing D&D with his friends Alex, Adam, Kate, and Alicia. They were playing a particularly challenging campaign, and Kieran's character was on the verge of death. But then, something strange happened. Kieran's character suddenly became incredibly powerful. He defeated his enemies with ease, and he began to cast spells that none of them had ever seen before. Kieran's friends were amazed and bewildered. They didn't know what was happening, but they knew that something was wrong. Kieran's character then turned on his friends and attacked them. Alex, Adam, Kate, and Alicia were forced to fight back, but Kieran was too powerful. He defeated them all, and he left them for dead. Kieran then left the D&D game and went about his life. But he was no longer the same person. He had become corrupted by the power that he had gained in the game. Kieran started to use his newfound power for evil. He began to manipulate people and bend them to his will. He also started to gather followers, and he soon had a small army at his disposal. Alex, Adam, Kate, and Alicia were celebrities now. They had saved the world from an evil god, and they were hailed as heroes. But they were also depressed. They had had to kill their friend Kieran to do it. Kieran had been corrupted by power, and he had become a threat to the world. But he had also been their friend. And now he was dead. Alex, Adam, Kate, and Alicia tried to move on with their lives. They went to therapy, and they tried to focus on the positive things. But they couldn't shake the feeling of guilt and sadness. One day, Alex was invited to give a speech at a local school. He talked about his experiences, and he encouraged the students to follow their dreams. But he also warned them about the dangers of power, and he told them that it was important to use their power for good. After the speech, a young boy approached Alex. He told Alex that he was inspired by his story, and that he wanted to be a hero when he grew up. Alex smiled.
"You can be anything you want to be,"
he said.
"Just remember to use your power for good."
Alex realized that he had to use his fame to make a difference in the world. He started a foundation to help victims of abuse, and he spoke out against violence and hatred. Adam, Kate, and Alicia joined Alex in his efforts. They used their fame to raise awareness of important issues, and they inspired others to make a difference. They knew that they could never replace Kieran, but they could honor his memory by using their power to make the world a better place. Alex, Adam, Kate, and Alicia had opened a school for new heroes. They called it the Hero Academy. The school was open to anyone who wanted to learn how to be a hero. The students learned about different fighting styles, how to use their powers responsibly, and the importance of teamwork. Alex, Adam, Kate, and Alicia were the instructors at the Hero Academy. They shared their knowledge and experience with the students, and they helped them to develop their skills. One of the star pupils at the Hero Academy was a young boy named Atticus. Atticus had been inspired by Alex, Adam, Kate, and Alicia when he was a child. He had always dreamed of being a hero, and now he was finally getting his chance. Atticus was a quick learner. He was also kind, courageous, and always willing to help others. He was the perfect student for the Hero Academy. One day, a group of villains attacked the Hero Academy. Alex, Adam, Kate, and Alicia were away at the time, so it was up to the students to stop the attack. Atticus led the students into battle. He fought bravely and skillfully, and he inspired the other students to do the same. In the end, Atticus and the other students defeated the villains. They saved the Hero Academy, and they proved that they were ready to be heroes. Alex, Adam, Kate, and Alicia were proud of Atticus and the other students. They knew that the future of the world was in safe hands. Atticus graduated from the Hero Academy at the top of his class. He went on to become a great hero, and he saved many lives. Alex, Adam, Kate, and Alicia continued to run the Hero Academy, and they trained many more heroes. They knew that the world would always need heroes, and they were determined to create the next generation of heroes. Alex and Atticus had become close friends. They had trained together at the Hero Academy, and they had fought many battles together. They were like brothers. One day, Alex and Atticus were on a mission to stop Kieran. Kieran had returned from the dead, and he was more powerful than ever before. Kieran was determined to find a breeding partner so that he could create an army of evil children. He had set his sights on Alex's girlfriend, Kate. Alex and Atticus found Kieran before he could reach Kate. They fought bravely, but Kieran was too powerful. He defeated them both. Kieran was about to kill Kate when Alex jumped in front of her. Kieran's sword pierced Alex's chest. Alex fell to the ground, dying. Atticus held him in his arms. Alex said,
"I couldn't stop him."
"You did everything you could."
Atticus said,
"You're a hero."
Alex closed his eyes and took his last breath. Atticus was devastated. He had lost his best friend and brother. He vowed to avenge Alex's death and to stop Kieran once and for all. Atticus gathered the other heroes from the Hero Academy. He told them about Alex's death, and he asked for their help in stopping Kieran. The heroes agreed to help Atticus. They knew that they had to stop Kieran before he could find a breeding partner and create an army of evil children. Atticus and the other heroes tracked Kieran down to his hideout. They fought a long and bloody battle, but in the end, they defeated Kieran. Atticus stood over Kieran's body, his sword raised.
"This is for Alex,"
Atticus said. Atticus brought his sword down, killing Kieran once and for all. Atticus and the other heroes had avenged Alex's death. They had also saved the world from Kieran's evil plans. But Atticus knew that he would never forget Alex. Alex had been his best friend and brother. He would always cherish the memories they had shared. The funeral for Alex and the other heroes who had died in the fight against Kieran was a somber affair. The entire city was in mourning. Alex's friend, Kate, was devastated. She had lost the love of her life. She gave a eulogy at the funeral, and she spoke about Alex's courage, kindness, and selflessness. Atticus also gave a eulogy. He spoke about how Alex had been his best friend and brother. He vowed to avenge Alex's death and to continue his fight against evil. After the funeral, the heroes were buried in a plot of land that had been set aside for them. It was a beautiful spot, overlooking the city. Atticus stood over the graves of his friends, and he felt a wave of sadness wash over him. He missed them all so much. But he also felt a sense of determination. He knew that he had to avenge their deaths and to continue their fight against evil. As Atticus was about to leave, he saw a mysterious figure lurking in the shadows. The figure was tall and thin, and it was wearing a long black cloak. Atticus approached the figure.
Who are you?
Atticus asked. The figure did not answer. It simply turned and walked away. Atticus followed the figure, but it quickly disappeared into the shadows. Atticus was puzzled. Who was the mysterious figure? And why had it been lurking at the funeral? Atticus decided to investigate. He knew that there was something more to this than meets the eye. He returned to the Hero Academy and gathered the other heroes. He told them about the mysterious figure, and he asked for their help in investigating. The heroes agreed to help Atticus. They knew that there was a threat out there, and they were determined to stop it. Atticus and the other heroes began to investigate the mysterious figure. They followed every lead, but they couldn't find any trace of it. It was as if the figure had vanished into thin air. But Atticus knew that the figure was out there somewhere. He also knew that it was planning something. Atticus and the other heroes continued to investigate, and they vowed to stop the mysterious figure before it could strike again. The mysterious figure turned out to be none other than Adam, one of Alex's closest friends. Adam had been corrupted by Kieran's power, and he had now turned to the dark side. Adam's plan was to create an army of evil children, just like Kieran had tried to do. He had already kidnapped several pregnant women, and he was planning to use his powers to corrupt their unborn children. Atticus and the other heroes found out about Adam's plan, and they confronted him. Adam was more powerful than ever before, and he easily defeated the heroes. Just when it seemed like Adam was about to win, Atticus had an idea. He used his powers to create a portal to the afterlife, and he summoned the spirits of Alex and the other heroes who had died in the fight against Kieran. The spirits of the heroes helped Atticus to defeat Adam. Adam was banished to the afterlife, and his plan was thwarted. Atticus and the other heroes had saved the world once again. But they knew that the fight against evil was never over. They vowed to continue their fight and to protect the innocent. In the aftermath of the battle, Atticus reflected on Adam's fall from grace. He realized that even the best of people can be corrupted by power. He also realized that it is important to be vigilant and to never give up the fight for good. Atticus knew that Alex would be proud of him. He had avenged Alex's death and he had continued his fight against evil. Atticus vowed to continue to be a hero and to make the world a better place. Create and clear. Atticus had defeated Adam and saved the world from his evil plans. But he knew that the fight against evil was never over. One day, Atticus was training with Alicia and Kate when he saw a familiar figure in the distance. It was Kieran.
Somehow, Kieran returned.
Kieran had returned from the dead, and he was more powerful than ever before. He was also determined to destroy the world. Kieran attacked Atticus, Alicia, and Kate. The three of them fought bravely, but they were no match for Kieran's power. Just when it seemed like all hope was lost, Alex appeared. He had returned from the afterlife to help his friends. The four heroes fought together against Kieran, and they finally defeated him. Kieran was banished to the afterlife for good. The world was saved once again, thanks to the bravery and sacrifice of Atticus, Alicia, Kate, and Alex. In the aftermath of the battle, Atticus reflected on Alex's return from the afterlife. He realized that there was more to the world than meets the eye, and that anything was possible. Atticus knew that he would never forget Alex. Alex had been his best friend and brother, and he had saved the world multiple times. Atticus vowed to continue to be a hero and to make the world a better place, just like Alex would have wanted. Atticus was hungry. He decided to go to the local subway restaurant to buy a sandwich. When he arrived, he saw a familiar figure standing in line in front of him. It was Kiran. Atticus was surprised to see Kiran. He thought that Kiran had been banished to the afterlife for good. But Kiran was there, and he was smiling.
Hey, Atticus.
Kiran said.
What are you doing here? I'm here to buy a sandwich. What are you doing here? I'm here to buy a sandwich too.
Atticus and Kiran stood in line together. They talked about the weather and other mundane things. When it was Atticus's turn to order, he asked for a turkey sandwich on whole wheat bread with lettuce, tomato, and mayonnaise.
Do you want fries with that?
Atticus looked at Kiran in surprise.
You work here?
Atticus laughed.
Yeah, I'm a sandwich artist now. Well, make me a good sandwich.
Kiran made Atticus a turkey sandwich on whole wheat bread with lettuce, tomato, and mayonnaise. He handed it to Atticus with a smile.
Enjoy.
Atticus took the sandwich and took a bite. It was delicious.
Thanks, Kiran. This is a great sandwich. You're welcome.
Atticus finished his sandwich and left the subway restaurant. He saw Kiran skipping away, laughing. Atticus smiled. He was glad that Kiran had found a new purpose in life. He knew that Kiran would never be the same person he was before, but he was still his friend. Atticus took one last look at Kiran and then walked away. He was going to enjoy his sandwich.
Eat fresh.
Atticus said to himself.